Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. We're in the 3.5 Monster Manual, and today we're on the Dragon Turtle. And essentially the Dragon Turtle is a 20 to 30 foot long giant sea turtle. So what I have is a CD that I can use as the base. So let's start with that. I'm going to get some cardstock. Glue that down. Cut around it. Now, I didn't prep this in any way, which was a total mistake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this off I'm going to peel this off. And I'm going to set this off to the side. And I'm going to use the shiny part of a new DVD. I'll clean that up later off camera. So use this side. And then prep it a little bit so that the glue sticks. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, I messed up a little bit on this one. It's not perfectly centered, but that's okay. We'll just snip that a little bit extra off. We'll call that a win. So I'm just going to rough up these edges a little bit. Now we need to get some glue super. And something to use as an applicator. Okay. Get some baking soda. Okay. It's a little warped. Oh well, I don't think it'll kill us. So I'm just going to get something to mount this to work on it. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. I'll flop that upside down. So let's look at what we need to make a turtle. So I was thinking, I got this, my boys gave this to me. I know it's from like Dollar General or something. So this could make a pretty nifty set of legs in the right use. And obviously we want that tail. I don't know how much of it, but we want that tail. Let's take all his legs while we're here. Hello, we just want your legs. We'll keep your head for something else, I promise. Okay. So, for heads, we have that dragon head. We have this dinosaur head. We have this dragon's head. And we have this little How to Train Your Dragon guy. But here's the deal. Dragon turtles are predators, so their eyes aren't on top of their head or on the front of their head. They're on, I don't know what the, I don't know shit. So anyways, my main pick would that be this one, I think. So I'm going to try to take that head off here, if I can. I don't know if I can get it. Here we go. I'll get a smaller bite over here and cut it off. It's a very hard plastic. I definitely don't need those things. Whatever those are. I'll snip those bad boys right off. We get a better pair of snippers and we'll deal with those. Okay. Alright, so we have a base. And now we have a body. Now we have to decide if we want him swimming or on the land. And I think the best thing to do is put him on the shore. So I've come up with an idea, though it's probably not a very good one. And it involves tinfoil, believe it or not. Yeah, that's right, tinfoil. So my thought is that we make his shell shape out of foil. So we need to make it a little bigger. So all we need to do is get a little more foil. Okay, let's see if that's closer. There we go. So we want to get his shell shape. And then we know his limbs, of which I only have 3 of. Oh, there's 4. So his front legs are kind of like going back like they're swimming. So we can probably snip this off here and get that going somewhere around there to look like that, maybe. Maybe something like that. That would be better. And then for his back legs, something like that. And then the tail, that's probably way too long of a tail. So let's make his tail about like that. And then his head. Okay, we gotta get that open somehow. We're just gonna let that cool. See if that'll hold it. Okay. We need a little bit more neck. So what we'll do is we'll steal some of Homeboy's tail to increase the length of his neck. Okay. Something like that. Okay. So let's set this stuff off to the side. Let's fix up the shell some. So what I'm thinking is, to make this shell look good, we'll put a piece of material or t-shirt fabric over it. So let me see what I got here. Okay. Now, if you don't have kids that are growing like weeds, I will take a wild guess and say that you grow out of clothes or destroy clothes yourselves. So for people that are telling me you can't get fabric, you're a liar. Go sit in the damn corner. Okay. We're going to snip off some of the excess. Then we're going to fold the rest underneath. Okay. So this part that comes up under here, we're just going to drag that up, pull that down, Now for the neck part, which was in the front here. Let's not quite put that down yet. Let's get that neck there. That's burning the shit out of me. Of course it is. All right, come on, you. Do what I want. For that neck part, let's get the neck mounted. So let's roll this under a little bit, like that. Then push that in with your thumb. And let's glue the neck there. And then we will pull that down around the neck with glue to hold that in place. Okay. Okay. We'll let that sit. We're going to need to come back and do some work on that neck too. For now, let that sit like that. For the tail, we're going to do something similar. Fold that under a little bit. If you don't get glue all over it like I just did. And we're going to drag that down around that tail to hold it in place. Let's get some glue in here. Okay. Now, let me get our glue stick out. For the front arms, what we want to kind of do is push in and get that kind of in with that. See, like, fill that gap and get it on there. You want these to be sticking up a little bit though. I just thought of something we need to do real quick. Let's get some cardstock. And do the webbing for their feet. Whoops. That's alright. I like glue on my hand. Don't let anybody tell you different. I'm a giant glue hand guy. So, and this is easy to fix from this point. Just get a crappy craft knife, cut it off. Maybe even be left-handed about it. I need a sharper knife. And one I can hold. Okay. Nice. Because he's got to have webbed feet. How else is this big ass going to swim? Sorry, everybody in the world's cutting their grass today. I was out of town for work. Well, I wasn't really out of town. I drove several hours away for work. I obviously didn't spend the night or anything, but... The next entry is called the Dragon, and it should be a lot easier than the last couple. Dragon and Dragon Turtle. Come on, guys. These are hard for anybody. I'm trying to keep these craps dirt cheap, you know. This one had like a weird bump that I did a bad job with the glue. So all I'm doing is dragging down and getting rid of that bump so it's not as pronounced, okay? Alright, let's set this stuff off to the side and clean up our mess. Cool. Alright, so let's go back to our Dragon. Or Dragon Turtle. His neck's a little bad, so I'm going to pull this apart here again. And I'm going to come back in and try to get that in a better position. Alright, I'm going to let that sit for a moment. And while that's sitting, I'm going to attach these legs. So his front legs, I'm just going to push in and get that up under that foil like that. So let's push those in. Doing the same thing back here. Okay. 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 Now that we have them upside down, let's start doing something with that neck. And all I'm doing is covering in weird gaps with hot glue. You might be thinking, hey, that neck's really long. Yeah, it is kind of long. So I was talking to someone today on the phone, and I was thinking about this. A dragon turtle. If you've heard of a alligator-headed snapping turtle, that to me is probably a better description of something terrifying to come out of the water than a sea turtle. Sea turtle. Just my opinion. His mouth is closed, and I wanted it open. All right, let's let that cool. I'm going to throw him in front of the fan for a second. Okay, let's get our base. So we're going to have to get a rock or something up under here to kind of prop him on. To get his head off the ground some. And then we can just glue his back feet down with a little bit of hot glue, really. I'm going to hold those down for a minute. Okay. His mouth, his head needs to come up some. So we're going to have to bend the foam of his shell a little bit to get that going. And then, probably wisely, get another rock up under there. That one's not big enough. There we go, that'll do it. Okay. Get his mouth back open. All right, we need to solidify his back here before we seriously consider how we're going to do this shell. We're going to need those big rocks again, I'm sure. So I'm going to grab a new tube of super glue. So I'm stepping back a little bit here for a second because whatever the rubber or tinfoil or whatever I've used here, the hot glue maybe, the super glue, something is making some fumes that are beating the shit out of me. So I'm just going to step back for a second and let that kind of quit smoking. It's smoking. All right. So let's get some big rocks on the base now. Whew. Man, that kicked my ass. All right, so there is our dragon turtle. What I'd like to do is I'd like to do some texture on that super glue, or on that hot glue. Just get rid of some of that smoothness. There we go. Now his head's still a little loose. So I'm going to guess we need to get some glue in there to solid that up. So if you don't like the shape of your shell or parts of your shell at this point, what I would suggest doing is once your super glue is dry, I would get something small like cardstock or foam. And let me get a piece of thin foam. I think that's what we'll use. Same foam we used on the dragon. And I would cut out some shapes. And what I would do is I would try to do like one big central one. I'll start with like a rough circle. And then I would kind of, I'm not sure, sea turtles actually have ridges. They don't have lumps like this, but I'm not sure how to capture those ridges really. Let me look, maybe we can do it with glue. We could maybe do it with glue. All right, well, let's look. He's got to have spikes on his sides. So let's start with that. So to do that, let's get these. And get a little bit of glue. And stick these up underneath and push them into place. This would have been way easier before this guy was on the base for sure. Just a heads up. Putting this on after the fact is kind of stupid and maybe unnecessary. Okay. Again, probably unnecessary. We don't know yet. We'll soon know. Yeah, this would have been wise to do before I mounted this dude. So if you're watching this, chances are you have a chance to redeem yourself right here. I'm already kind of stuck. You're not. Okay. Okay. Now, as far as the ridges on his back goes, I don't really have a good plan for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a very thin strip. I'm going to get my craft knife that I covered in glue for no reason. And I'm going to try to make 2 of those. By try, I mean fail miserably, most likely. But I'll try. So the smart way to do that would have been to cut those both out at the same time. But let's be honest, a lot of you just like watching me to see me screw up. Me and my buddy were joking that about the drinking games you guys make while watching me, like how many times I burn myself, or that I accidentally say a foul word, or just different dumb stuff. Okay. So then with those, you just want to get some on the shell, I'm guessing. I don't really know. And work it up and down. Need more glue. Need more glue. So just get a dab of glue in there to fill up that gap, and then drag it up. Break it up so it's not perfect. I'm going to do the outsides first and come back in for the inside so it has a second to cool down. Okay. Lift that up a little bit. I don't want to hit my head on it too much. Whoa. Okay. I'm not real happy with the way his seam is there, so we're just going to drag that around and cover that up. Get the kickstand out. We're just going to get that and drag that around and get rid of some of that seam. Okay. Seems pretty sturdy. Okay, let me get the kickstand back up. Let's get rid of any spider webs. Alright, so when we come back for part 2, he'll be spray painted, and then we'll start painting them. Looks like they're greenish colors and maybe teal and maybe, I don't know. They're just, they're greenishes mostly. So, we'll see what we can do. If you like what we're doing here, please hit like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the notification bell to see more stuff like this. This might have been a freebie, but somebody bought the lizard, which was probably me years ago for the little boys. But these are inexpensive things you can be doing with your time and money to populate your table. Maybe we'll talk about how to run him on when we get back. I'm going to save these little parts because that's what I do. I save parts. Yeah, I know. It's pretty lame. I am the part saver guy. Clean up my mess. So if you like miniatures, and you look in the background there, those are 6 of the 7 August Dungeon Swag minis. So for $16.99, that does include shipping. It's $16.99 after shipping. You can get that box of minis, plus the one I painted and took upstairs, sent to your house. And I'll tell you what, beat our deal. Go ahead, please. Find somebody who can beat it. If you want to get a free one to check them out, there's in our Discord, which is going to be, in the description below. There's a discount code there. And if you want to get 25% off your first month of the Loot Crate, which is like those come in a Loot Crate format, it's going to save you 25% with that discount code too. So do me a favor. If you like the videos and you want to show that you like them, hit all those things I told you to hit, and maybe buy some minis too if you want to. But don't really feel like you have to buy the minis. I'd like you to buy the minis. I won't die if you don't. The scorebook will die though, and you'll all be responsible for it. I'm joking. All right. So see you next time on Dungeons and Doom Biscuit when we come back for part 2 of The Dragon Turtle.